environment is actually, to some degree, more, I'd say, important than the genes that are built into us, but our environment influences us more. You could take a baby who was born in Canada, say in Toronto, and you could take it and move it to South Africa, and it could grow up with no knowledge of the English language. And we're very programmed by what's around us. So we're going to get into that more, Peter, but certainly if anyone else wants to add maybe some ideas of how you can really change.
Yeah, just reinforcing a visual for people on how much your environment overcomes you, no matter how special you think you are. I remember when I was growing up here, as a teenager, my dad always used to say to me, you know what, if you play with pigs, it doesn't matter how good you are, you're going to end up smelling like a pig. Like, it's just, the reality of it, because pigs smell, and you're going to take on the smell. And then as I got older, and I think there's many women in here, I don't know, my brother, you've heard lots of stories about, when you have female friendships and breakups and all this drama that we go through as women sometimes. Again, my dad would always say the same thing. He'd be like, Tressa, if you surround yourselves with pigs, you're going to end up smelling like a pig. So all just to say that environment overcomes any of us. It doesn't matter how smart you are, you can be a genius, but if you're in the wrong environment, it's going to soak into you.
Yeah.
I want to contribute to what Teresa has said. So we've worked on ourselves, for example. We've worked on our personality, self-growth, and all of that fun stuff. You wake up in the morning, you've listened to an inspirational audio, and it has set your mood for the day. And then you step out of your house, you get to work. Let's not even get to work. You're in traffic, and one driver just drives recklessly, and then you use the F word. So how do we deal with triggers? It could be a question for you to answer after, because we would have that. We are learning to live in a different environment. We are learning to become a better person. But like she said, the environment also influences us. We're going to have friends who are going to smell like pigs. How do we manage that situation, Sometimes you don't want to chop them off too, because probably they're good in other areas, You want to be sentimental. I know it's complicated, right? But
it is.
Question for you to answer later.
So I'm sure many of you have, in some cases, just thought, I'm just going to do it. I'm going to go to that conference. I'm going to enroll in that course. I'm going to go to that event, whatever it is. And it's really good because you're intaking new information. So we will come back to all of this, and that's why we started at the beginning. Who are you? Because if you don't know who you are, and that we are creative beings, and our thoughts is the first part of creation, and then if we don't think in new ways or make new choices, that because our subconscious cannot reject the thoughts and ideas we're giving it, we're just going to keep doing the same things unless we take the responsibility and we're aware of the thoughts we're thinking to change them.